the former opposition leader Etienne Tshisekedi and father of the Congolese president for lack of a political agreement between his family and the regime of Joseph Kabila. His remains that had been resting in Belgium for 2 years will finally be repatriated to his native country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, on May 30th. Since Omar el-Bashir resigned from power, the Transitional Military Council that took power thereafter faces demonstrators who are more than ever determined to obtain a transfer of power to civilians, despite the impasse in the negotiations between the protest and the military. Following a meeting on Tuesday with coach Kwesi Appiah and the members of the Ghana Football Association's Normalization Committee, Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghana's president, asked Asamoah Gyan to reconsider his decision on international retirement in football. These are our top stories. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. It is a real lecture that the opponent Katumbi served to the press 3 days after return to the country. It is going down well in the political corridors in the DRC that this 3-year separation was beneficial for the opponent, who said he had sifted through all Congolese political news. Moise Katumbi wishes more than ever to position himself as the one to be praised. He firmly believes that the opposition speech must contribute to the emergence of a more democratic society. But it is clear, no mixture, he does not wish to participate in the future government led by Ilunga Ilukamba, appointed Prime Minister. Sharing power with the majority for Moise Katumbi is not possible because in Africa, according to him, the test was not conclusive. This is why he very clearly intends to conduct a participatory policy within his country. He appeals to the opposition to be pragmatic and responsible. The Lamuka opposition, of which he is the flag bearer, reserves for itself a moment of free discussion for a direct interpersonal, frank and objective exchange. For him, there is a time for everything. The UDPS time that fought for more than 30 years has come. They fought for change in the country. They must now, and in all responsibility, spread their vision for the DRC. Upon his return to Lubumbashi on Monday, where he was given a warm welcome by thousands of supporters, the rich businessman and president of the Tout-Puissant Mazembe, defending champion of Congolese football, had set the tone of its political calendar. He says, I quote, "I have come back for peace and for national reconstruction in our country by complying with the Constitution." The repatriation of the body of the former opponent Etienne Tshisekedi is scheduled for May 30th, and the funeral will be held at the Matai Stadium. The burial will be on Saturday after the solemn mass at the Stadium of Matais. All the bishops are expected to attend the funeral greeting ceremony, according to the brother of the deceased, Gerald Mulumba. The father of the new president, Felix Tshisekedi, died in Brussels on February 1st, 2017, during a period of political tension under the former regime of President Joseph Kabila. The family and supporters of the former Congolese opposition leader, Etienne Tshisekedi, waited more than 2 years for his remains to be repatriated to the country. They will still have to wait a few more days before the arrival of the deceased body in order to organize the national funerals. Since the dismissal by the army on April 11th of President Omar el-Bashir, who for 3 decades presided over the destiny of Sudan, a transitional military council took power. But according to Abu Bakr Abdullah, a protester, it is necessary for the Sudanese people to engage into civil disobedience. The Sudanese people should come out as on April 6th and continue with the demonstration until the military council hands over full authority to civilians. The Monday night negotiations on a political transition do not relate to any agreement. Each party, military and leaders of the protest want to obtain the presidency and the majority of the seats of the future sovereign council. Another protester, Ali Gadala, meanwhile says everyone should be flexible in the negotiation, either the military council or the opposition forces, so as to come out of the crisis. If the protesters wanted escalation and pressure for civil disobedience, it could give us the opportunity to destroy the revolution. In addition to the financial support of the Gulf countries, the Sudanese Military Council seems to receive diplomatic support from Egypt. the African Union Act. According to analysis, this support is badly perceived by the leaders of the protest, who are determined to make the army leave power. Malaria is a deadly disease in Africa. In Gabon, the aim of the authorities is to control the disease through awareness raising and prevention based on local sanitation campaigns in all the municipalities of the capital of Gabon. It goes without saying that fighting against malaria requires a better consideration of all the means of prevention from the disease. The insecticide-treated mosquito net and sanitation of its immediate environment today are indispensable and effective means of fighting against this pathology. Gabonese officials are relying on outreach with local elected officials who will in turn relay to the people to put an end to malaria. The main strategy in the fight against malaria remains knowledge of the basic concepts of the disease. Around the world, 219 million people are affected, and 78% of those who died from the disease are primarily children under 5 years old. In Gabon, malaria is the leading cause of death in children under 5 years of age. In Malawi this Tuesday, many went to the polls for the presidential election with an uncertain outcome, where outgoing Peter Mutharika is seeking a second term against two serious opponents who have made the fight against corruption their favorite theme. Voters are also called to renew their members of parliament and local councillors in this small agricultural state of southern Africa. During campaign, Peter Mutharika, 78 years old, defended his record, highlighting the improvement of infrastructure, especially roads, in one of the poorest countries in the world. At his last public campaign meeting on Saturday at Blantyre, he says, "Since we came to power in 2014, we have been busy repairing Malawi. We have put Malawi on the road to progress." Peter Mutharika promised to make Malawi a better country within 5 years, saying the opposition has no reason to criticize him, not even one, while his main opponents have denounced the corruption which, according to them, has tarnished his term of office. The World Bank is committed to supporting the Rwandan agricultural sector with a funding to the tune of $71 million. And for the Rwandan government, this timely support will strengthen the sector. When signing the agreement, the Rwandan authorities indicated that the agricultural sector is of paramount importance in the country's economy, and particularly for the preservation of improvement of Rwanda's livelihoods. According to official sources, this agreement with the World Bank aims at contributing to the acceleration of the implementation of the fourth phase of the Agricultural Transformation Strategic Plan by the Rwandan government to improve agricultural productivity and reduce the rate of poverty in the country. The official sources say, first, we must improve value chains. The funds allocated by the International Financial Institution will improve the value chains of agriculture. They will also serve to facilitate access to agricultural services for small farmers. This should enable them to improve their productivity and openness to the national and international market. This is not the first time the World Bank has supported Rwanda's agricultural project. Last year, the Bretton Woods institution provided Rwanda with $100 million to help Rwanda implement its strategic plan for agricultural transformation, while commending the efforts of the Rwandan government for the modernization of the agricultural sector and the development of agro-industries. Just 1 month to the African Cup of Nations in 21st of June in Egypt, Ghana's iconic striker Asamoah Gyan announced his international retirement to protest against coach Kwesi Appiah's intention to nominate another captain, a decision that was not approved by the Ghanaian president. President Addo talked on the phone with Asamoah Gyan and told him of the national interest over his decision to leave the Black Stars. He asked him, for the sake of the national interest, to reconsider his decision and make himself available to the coach, according to the statement issued by the player's football agent. On Wednesday, Asamoah Gyan on Twitter announced that his manager, Sami Anim Addo, would make a statement on his behalf and that he himself will issue a statement later following his discussion with the President of the Republic. Asamoah Gyan made his debut with the national football team in 2003 when he was only 17 years old. He has 106 selections and has played 3 World Cups, 2006, 2010 and 2014. He is the top scorer of the Ghana Black Stars with 51 goals. For this 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, Ghana is in Group F with Cameroon, Benin, and Guinea-Bissau. The former behind the great performance of Arsenal in the Europa League lies an excellent Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, in great shape at the forefront of the Gunners' attack. With 32 goals scored in 49 games, Aubameyang's figures are enough to make heads spin. In the Premier League, since Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang joined Arsenal in January 2018, the Gabonese international footballer keeps blowing the roof off. No one ever reached this record so quickly, not even the legendary Thierry Henry. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang says that he is aware of the value of his performance. Of course, it is fun and I am very happy. But somewhere it was a challenge for me to come here and become a great striker. Inspired by Didier Drogba in the First League, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is following in his footsteps as the top scorer of the league this year with 22 goals, just like the Ivorian in 2007 and 2010. The choice of Unai Emery to associate him with Alexandre Lacazette in the forefront of Arsenal attack is one of the reasons for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's success this season. He declares that his first encounter with Lacazette was great. According to him, the two teammates would share the same point of view about football. They love to mess up and joke. Once on the field, a look is enough. It's natural. One will seek the other, and the other will do the same. Winning the Europa League final against Chelsea on May 29th would be a rewarding year of the exceptional work by the Panther of Gabon. Opposition leader Etienne Tshisekedi and father of the Congolese president, for lack of a political agreement between his family and the regime of Joseph Kabila, his remains that had been resting in Belgium for 2 years will finally be repatriated to his native country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, on May 30th. Since Omar el-Bashir resigned from power, the Transitional Military Council that took power thereafter faces demonstrators who are more than ever determined to obtain a transfer of power to civilians, despite the impasse in the negotiations between the protest and the military. Following a meeting on Tuesday with coach Kwesi Appiah and the members of the Ghana Football Association's Normalization Committee, Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghana's president, asked Asamoah Gyan to reconsider his decision on international retirement in football. That's all for our newscast today. Stay tuned on Gabon 24 for more news.